Wasn't school fun? Geez, every night I have such pleasant memories of my school experience. From kindergarten on, don't you? So, because we had such exciting and enlightening experiences when we went to school and graduated, did you graduate? You did? I'm still working on it. Then such places as this have become the schools that we needed back then. Because you see, we never learned in school to value ourselves. As a matter of fact, the education system as it is operating now and was then is designed to program young people to fit into a box. That's it, right there. So, I'd like to launch into all the fine memories that we've had that we can share and reminisce about in our school days. But in reality, what I'd like to do is bring things to our attentions now of what we can learn and what we need to learn, that maybe in so doing, we will stimulate our whole society, perhaps even the world, to get to a place of honoring each and every one of us and all of us collectively, to where they can start teaching us things such as the importance of communication. Were you taught the importance of communication? I learned it every time I had to go to the principal's office or to go to see the dean of boys. And I learned that my communication skills were right out there, but weren't necessarily appreciated. And I was taught that because of such, then I received a reward. Yeah, you know how that goes. So anyhow, we were never told the importance of communication. We're trained in this area. As a matter of fact, effective communication really does bring us together. And look at what it does for you personally. When you're able to effectively communicate in yourself, to yourself, and then project that out into the world and connect with others, you enhance your life amazingly so. And things can get done because you're able to communicate. And communicate isn't just a one-directional experience. It includes the ability to listen and actually hear what's going on. I guess one of the most favorite times that I had in school was after we had been laboriously put through whatever class it was, then they released us and all of our pent-up energy out into the playground. Remember the playground? We had to just exercise all of that energy out of you. And if you came back not battered and bruised, then you didn't really have a good exercise out on the playground. And then after that, what did you do? You took a little nappy, didn't you? And you put your head down on the desk. Remember, 11th grade, 12th grade? Just checking to see if you're with me. Okay, and one of the things that none of us was taught is that everything is an expression of consciousness. Unless we went to different schools, I don't even remember the remotest inclination toward that direction at all. That we were never taught that our thoughts and our feelings, our emotions, our attitude really contribute to how life shows up for us. We never got that. We were taught reading, writing, arithmetic, the basics. But so far as communication skills and then realizing that we are consciousness and that all of this shows up in our lives by what we are thinking, what we are feeling, and our attitudes. So here we are. And we're all sharing in this because this has become a very big deal for us right now at our age. We're learning that it really is a matter of who we perceive ourselves to be. It really is a matter of us recognizing that we are consciousness in physical form, and that our expressions reveal our internal actions. And economics. Remember economics? Did any of you have an economics class at school? Did you learn about valuing your health there? You know, hey, I know. It may seem like those aren't even in the same book. But you see, the fact of the matter is, your natural health is your absolute best investment in your life. Hey. Your natural health is your absolute best investment in life. And you may not find it out immediately. Which causes me to harken back to, remember the cafeteria? Wasn't that just such yummy food? Didn't you delight in every Friday knowing that you were going to have fish sticks? Is there some kind of programming there? Fish was only available on Friday, right? That's the only time it ever swam through the waters in our cafeteria. Okay. So you look at that and you say, could it be because there were corporate interests that the education curriculum generally focused on the pharmaceutical approaches to health? And that life-saving approaches were ignored, generally suppressed, and sometimes even ridiculed. Could it be that we were never ever given encouragement to recognize what really did support good health? Good nutrition, regular exercise, a positive outlook on life? Wow! I don't remember experiencing that from kindergarten all the way through college. Never. And maintaining a clean, stress-free environment. Maybe, the stress-free perhaps got in there because you get so stressed out. But clean? You got to be kidding. Of course, I'm talking about clean mentally, emotionally, and physically. Okay, some of you are following me and some of you aren't, and that's okay. But we're just talking about possibilities here. And the possibilities are when you get to a place of considering yourself to be valuable, then you start considering what is going to support your value, what's going to promote your value, what's going to actually help you experience more of a genuine, happy connection in life. And so far as philosophy, if you took a course in philosophy, sure, then you'd study philosophy. But so far as an applied philosophy that you received from kindergarten on, of how to actually engage in matters that were important so far as your ability to live life successfully. Can you remember having a conversation with your teacher or a whole classroom discussion regarding an applied philosophy so far as how do you deal with life's reoccurring problems? How do you actually have meaningful relationships? How do you make them work? Getting a degree, is that going to guarantee that you have the ability to relate in life? Do you have a degree that includes your living awareness that it is really how you think, feel, and believe about life that determines what kind of relationships you're going to have in life? I think probably not. And then the biggest value of all, being yourself. Who are you? How do you go about being yourself. You know, this really is your biggest strength. And the world needs people who can think for themselves. The world needs people who are able to actually engage in a living balance to where they're capable of the communication skills of listening and speaking, of having the ability to come forth and have innovation be something that fires through their imagination, and they're able to feel inspired and live their inspiration. You know, real thinking is being able to think the unthinkable. Were you taught that in school? Think the unthinkable? I was often reminded that my behavior was unthinkable. Think about it now. Go back to that image of a box. We have to break out of the box. And in so doing, then allow ourselves to stretch out into the invisible and to touch into other considerations other than the ones we were programmed to believe were the only ones available to us. And then how do you feel about yourself? Were you taught to have a deep and loving relationship with yourself? Were you taught to love yourself and value yourself? Because you see, our ability to really love and value ourselves is a great part of how we're then able to relate to others. I often, as a counselor, have people come to me and say, "Oh God, it's Thanksgiving. Oh my God, it's coming up to Christmas time. That means I'm going to have to spend time with my family." Which is it's a major revelation, because it just goes to show you that from parents to children to grandchildren, no one has been taught, no one has been encouraged, no one has learned how to love themselves and love each other. Consequently, it's pretty understandable why we as a society have rough relationships in our family. The exceptions are those who had experiences growing up and said, "You know what? I know my mother and father on some level loved me. They just did not know how to come across." Or if they did come across and they've taken it and said, "You know what? Bottom line is, whether they did or they didn't, I'm going to learn how to love myself. I'm going to learn how to be loving. I'm going to learn how to be lovable." And in so doing, then they are able to transfer that on to their children. And their children are able to pick up on it. And eventually, we may actually wind up with a world of loving beings because we've learned, first and foremost, to love ourselves. And this is one of the things that I feel so good about us. Us. We're learning to love ourselves. We're learning to love each other. We're learning to be lovable, and we're experiencing the true value of it. And for those who aren't quite ready for it, it's okay. You'll get to come back. If you don't learn it in this lifetime, there'll be other lifetimes. And the nice thing about it is that you get to move forward. You see, because I think the last point I'm going to make here, as far as what we didn't learn in school, is about the past. Most of us look to the past and we repeat the past. And that's because we're looking to the past unconsciously. We're not seeing what we could learn from the past. All we're seeing is the past as a pattern that we need to repeat, and that's the only way we learn how to do it, so that's the only way available to us. Our past often is our biggest enemy, because our past has those elements in it that we keep repeating over and over again and not realizing it's because of our fear, it's because of our anxiety, it's because of our unwillingness to make changes and to be creative and adventurous, that it is posing itself in the unrecognizable way that it is. So while that might seem to be a little convoluted, stop, think about it. You have within you the spark of genius. You have within you the creative capacity, the same as Einstein, the same as Tesla, the same as many of the others, individuals who broke through the barriers and began to think the unthinkable. If you want to have success in your life, and I think success measured in you have a good relationship with yourself, you have a good relationship with others, do you recognize and accept the blessings of life? Do you look for the good and praise it? Do you choose to live love, peace, harmony, joy, well-being? Are you able to be at ease with your own dis-ease? You see, these are all capacities that we have. But if we are always relating to life from the past, then the past certainly is presenting itself as an unrecognized blessing. So, I've really had fun with you today. You've had fun with me. And it's given me great joy to be able to go back and look at my childhood, look at my school days and think, thank God they're over. Thank you. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.